everybody, thanks for joining me. My name is Chris, and as you can see from this big orange bag on my lap, I have been doing some shopping at Louis Vuitton. This is not really an unboxing because I have already taken this item out and gotten it all set up, but I know a lot of people like to see the packaging and so forth, so I'm just going to show you a little bit. Obviously from the size of the box you can see that it is an SLG. And it is something that I have been seeing all over YouTube and wondering about and pondering, and I finally decided to go down to my local, not local, it was far away, Louis Vuitton store and check it out. And when I did, obviously I liked it so much that I bought it. So without further ado, here it is. Just slide the pretty ribbon off the box. And of course, you're probably familiar with these little boxes. They look like drawers. Inside there is a dust bag, and inside that dust bag is my brand new 6-ring multi-clay in Damier Ebene. So I've seen this thing all over YouTube. Everybody who does these luxury purse and luxury items videos loves this thing. I've seen it on people's lists of their must-haves, and I've kind of wondered about it because I had a really big key ring. I had a ring full of a jumble of keys and cards and things like that. If you have seen my video on my Speedy Épée Noire, you probably saw me with that big pile of keys putting it in my purse. And I mean, it wasn't something that I was happy with, but at the same time I didn't really know there was a solution for it. And then I saw all these great YouTubers talking about this and raving about this. LVluxdelight is one that kind of sold me on it. And then I saw Simply Silent do a couple of videos on this. She does a tour of the actual key holder, and then she also compares it to the Longchamp key holder. And so those were two videos that really kind of piqued my interest, got me interested in it, but like I said, I wasn't really sure that it was something for me because I had a very big key fob for my car. So when I went to the store, that was my first thing that I wanted to do. I checked it out to make sure that my key fob fit, and I don't actually have it in there right now because I wanted to show you how to put it on there. But this is the key fob from my car. And as you can see, it has sort of an offset hook right here. The hook is on the side of the fob instead of in the center. And so what I'm going to be doing is showing you how to slide it on there in a minute or two. But when I tried it in the store, I realized that it fit perfectly. There was no stretching. I didn't have to really struggle to snap the case or anything. It just closed right over it. And for that reason alone, I thought, well, this is something that I really want to try. Not to mention the color. I had asked for the monogram. She said they were out of the monogram, but she did bring me this. And as soon as I saw the pink lining, the rose ballerine lining, I fell in love with it. And I said, well, if my key fob fits in there, I'm definitely going to get it. So here it is. It is made in France. It does have the little pocket underneath where your keys hang, like so, where you could slide maybe your driver's license or some cash or some cards that you might need. And then it just snaps closed like this. The actual rings themselves are in gold tone hardware. And if you have watched anybody else, you probably know that all you have to do is press down these little levers and you get the little bar to slide over. And that would be the way that you would add your keys on, like so. So you, there's this little tiny, almost a ball bearing on the end of each of these rings, and you just pop it in there. Let me see if I can do it. And then slide it back over like this, and you have your fob in there. So my fob, because it's so big, is actually going to hang down just a little bit. But you can see as I close it here, there's really, oops, gotta get it the right way, Chris. As I close it here, there's really no struggle at all. You don't have to stretch it. It just closes like that. So there is a lot of room in there. And it does hang down just a little bit, but that doesn't bother me too much. Okay. So my plan was to try and get as many of my keys as I could in here. There are 6 rings. And weirdly enough, even though I had that giant ring of keys, I didn't really have a lot of actual keys on it. What I had was my key fob for my car. I had my husband's key and his key fob for his car. I have 3 house keys, and then I had tons of those loyalty cards for CVS, Rite Aid, you know, the grocery store, all those things that you carry around with you. And that big, massive chunk of keys was always rolling around in the bottom of my purse. This is obviously a much neater option. And I did decide that since I don't really drive my husband's car, I don't really need to carry his keys around with me. Obviously, 2 fobs would not fit in here, but the one fits just fine. The only thing is, because it was offset on the side, I had to rearrange my keys a little bit. I did have it over here in the middle, and then I realized that it was going to hang funny like this. So I put it on the right-hand side, and it's hanging just fine. Now, I do have to say that when I was putting this together, maybe it's just because I'm all thumbs, I don't really know, but I did have a terrible time trying to get it all lined up. What I did was take this bar off, and then I thought, well, I'll just put all of my keys on one by one, and I'll put it all back together again and slide it on. And I must have been holding the bar upside down, because every time I tried to pick it up, all of the little rings would go flying and they would flop off. Fortunately, I was doing it in my bedroom on top of my bed, and so nothing really rolled away. It just kept landing back on my bedspread. So if you are getting this for the first time and you are planning on putting all of your keys in there, just make sure that you're doing it in a place where things are not going to roll around and you might lose the rings or your keys, because it took a little bit of getting used to. Another thing that I struggled with a little bit was putting this particular key on the ring, and that key has a slightly different shape than the others, and you can see that the hole in that key is kind of far away from the edge of the key as compared to maybe this standard key right there. So these slid on quite easily, but this one was a real struggle because I had to bridge this key distance right there, if that makes sense. I hope I'm explaining myself well. But I really wondered if it was even going to get on there, and finally I managed to maneuver and manipulate it a little bit, and it did fall into place, and I probably won't be taking that one off anytime soon. So in actuality, you can see I have actually 3 house keys here, and then I have my car key. And that is pretty much it. I have taken all of my loyalty cards and put them on a ring, and I'll probably just put them in a pouch somewhere. Color, as I said, is the pink inside, so I did put a little bit of protectant on there, the Carbon Pro, just to make sure that the pink gets protected. A lot of people have talked about the button and how the leather on the button might wear a little bit. It's not a terrible concern of mine, and part of the reason is I really don't expect to be handling this very much. My key is a smart key, meaning that I don't have to get the key out of my purse in order to open my car. All I have to do is go up and grab the door handle, and the car unlocks, and then I just press a button to start the car. So really, as long as I have my keys in the bottom of my purse, I don't have to fiddle too much with this. So it'll probably be just sitting in the pocket of my main bag, or at the bottom of my disco bag if I'm carrying that around a little bit too. And then because I have a garage door that opens and closes, and if somebody's home, my door's not locked, so I really don't have to handle my house keys that much, but I do like the idea that it is in this nice little neat envelope rather than that big chunk of keys that I was carrying around. So that is my first impression of the multi-clay. So far I'm really enjoying it. I just love the look of it, and I love the fact that it's all nicely contained and looks really pretty. If anything changes, of course, I'll give you an update on it in a future video, but right now I'm really pleased that I bought this. Oh, and one more thing I did want to tell you, that on the website these are $250 for any of the canvases, but I have seen them even today. As a matter of fact, I was looking online in the pre-owned market, and I saw that some people were actually trying to sell them for more than the retail, like $325, something like that, which is absurd. Why would you buy a used one for $75 more than you can buy a brand new one? So if you're looking at one, definitely make sure that you check out the Louis Vuitton website and go to your local store, because they're only $250 right now. Don't pay more than that for it. And that's it for my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again next time. And if you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe. Take care.